Thermosets. So when we look at different types of materials, polymers, which thermosets are part of, lie pretty much in the middle of the strength and density charts for materials. So, for example, metals um, have high levels of stiffness and they're relatively quite heavy, and polymers lie in the middle. So they have they're relatively quite dense, um, or they've got middle density, and they're neither highly stiff or flexible. And then when it comes to stretchiness or ductility, there are a group of polymers which are quite close to the rubbers or the elastomers, and they have quite a lot of ductility. So, just a quick recap: thermosets have permanent chemical structures between their long links, which these cross links or permanent structures makes them very difficult to restructure after applying heat and then setting them in a particular form. Thermosets are relatively rigid, flexible in terms of what they can be used in. When they're heated up, they start to burn and produce noxious fumes and gases. They're relatively quite brittle. They can't be recycled, which is a major part, and they have high impact. Most of them have certain types of structural benefits. So, for example, they're quite hard. They can withstand high impacts. They're very resistant to deformation. So, to make a major point about this, thermosets do not have recycling symbols on them. They don't have the Mobius symbol to classify them, as opposed to thermoplastics. So the first in our list of thermosets is urea formaldehyde, and this has a smooth feeling or smooth surface. It has a limited amount of colors, so you usually find them in white, which is quite common. It is quite versatile, so it can be used for a range of things. It resists heat, so it's excellent for heat applications where higher resistance needs to be met. It's a very good electrical insulator. It's tough. It can be easy to injection mold it, although it is quite brittle. And it's used to make electrical fittings such as plugs and sockets and ceiling light fittings. Epoxy resin is a type of glue. It comes in usually in its common form. It comes in two tubes, which you can buy, for example, from a DIY store. It's a lot stronger than super glue, so it comes as a resin and a hardener. It's smooth to touch. It has a high strength to weight ratio. It's relatively quite expensive, and you will actually find that it's quite expensive in comparison to other types of glues. It's a very good electrical insulator. It's also a good heat insulator, and you usually find that when a material has good electrical insulation properties, it is also a good heat insulator as well. It's used as an adhesive. You find that electrical circuit board manufacturers use it as a protective sheath or film on top of the printer circuit board. It can be used in conjunction with carbon fiber and glass fiber to make carbon fiber products or glass fiber products. A common example would be in car body part applications, or for example the prosthetics of Special Olympics athletes. Melamine formaldehyde can be easily molded. So these are the formers. So imagine that's formaldehyde. You can place it between a sandwich of a former and then shape it into whatever you want. It's smooth to touch. It comes in different colors. It can be used to print it onto food labels and packaging and so on. It is food safe, so it won't contaminate food. It's also a good product or material to use when hygiene is of the most importance. It's a good heat resistor. It has high amounts of strength to weight ratio, so it's quite lightweight. It's hard. It resists impact. It's tough. Although it is brittle, it is not microwave safe. It can be used for kitchenware, so trays, plates, and so on, cups. It can be used on top of kitchen worktops. So you find that majority of kitchen worktops have melamine on them. Obviously, you've got granite ones, but you will find that the majority of kitchen tops have melamine on them. It can be used to make trays. It can be used to make the exterior surface, the patterning on flat pack furniture. So polyester resin is similar in terms of the fact that it comes as a resin and a hardener to epoxy resin. So polyester resin comes in a clear form. It is smooth. It can be colored, so you can add pigments to color it. It has a high levels of strength and toughness. It is also heat resistant, like the other thermosets we've talked about. It has good electrical insulation. Although when it is curing, it is quite dangerous for the environment because it produces volatile organic compounds which are not healthy for the earth. You'll find it in the form of those Christmas balls. So castings. It can be used to preserve specimens in biology. It's used as a covering for flooring. It is waterproof, and it can be used as well to make fabric.